Hey gamers, Zborgaming back again with another recoil guide. Today we're looking at the light machine guns in Modern Warfare. In this recoil guide, we'll take a look at the recoil patterns for all the LMGs and see how they compare to each other and give you some tips and tricks as to what you can do. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Now we do all of our testing on Candor Hideout. If you watch any of our other weapon guides or recoil videos, you'll know that this is where we typically do our testing. And so let's go ahead and start taking a look at the recoil patterns for the first three light machine guns. So the first one we took a look at here is the PKM. Now it has 100 bullets in the magazine. We only shot off about the first 35, but you can see the PKM has a very nice vertical recoil profile. It's very easy to manage. The bullet spread is fairly tight for the most part, and so this has a very nice recoil profile. The SA-87 jumps vertical for the first 5 or 6 bullets and then starts to drift up and to the right. Now the M91, this one jumps around a little bit here. It jumps up a little bit, drifts to the right, and then after about 15 bullets or so, starts drifting back up and to the left. Now again here, I only shot off about the first 40 bullets. If you kept holding the trigger down or the mouse button, this thing is going to just keep on shooting. But we only shot off about the first 40. And again, if you've watched any of my other videos, you do not want to be holding the trigger down or your mouse button down that long anyway. You want to be shooting in smaller bursts. And that goes basically the same for almost any weapon in the game. So let's go ahead and take a look at the last couple LMGs here. So the Holger 26, this has a similar profile to that SA-87 we looked at. The first 5 or 6 bullets, they go straight up, and then it starts to drift more off up and to the right. And again here, this is only about the first 35 out of the 100 bullets in the base magazine. Now with the MG34, you can see this, similar to the PKM, has a straight vertical recoil, but there is a lot more bounce to this weapon than there is with the PKM. So let's go ahead here and overlay all of the patterns together so that you can sort of see what they look like together. And again, you can see that for the most part, the PKM probably has the best overall and manageable recoil pattern because it's very predictable, just going straight vertical. The SA-87 and the Holger both sort of have a very similar profile where they go up for the first 5, 6, 7 bullets and then start to drift. The MG34 goes vertical but has a lot of side-to-side bounce, and the M91 also goes vertical then sort of drifts off to the left. On the whole, they all have quite a bit of recoil, and they're actually best when they're mounted to help control that recoil, and I'll show you that later here in the presentation in the video. So let's move on. So what I wanted to show you here is the first 7 bullets. Now if you're shooting in bursts, 5, 6, 7 bullets, all of these guns are quite manageable, and they're basically just a straight vertical recoil pattern over those first 7 bullets. Now the PKM, at this range, 25 meters, almost all these weapons will be a 3 or 4 shot kill to the chest. So we have some numbers here on the left. The PKM shoots at 750 RPMs. It's a 3 bullet kill and a time to kill of 160 milliseconds. The SA-87 has a slightly slower fire rate at 600 RPMs. Will still take 3 bullets and it has a 200 millisecond time to kill. The Holger at this range will take 4 bullets to kill and a 240 time to kill. The M91 will take 3 bullets with 180 milliseconds time to kill. And the MG34, due to its really fast fire rate at 860 RPMs, will take 3 bullets to kill, and it'll be 140 time to kill. This is one of the fastest time to kill weapons in the game, but you can also see that the recoil is a lot harder to manage. I just put out a weapon guide on the MG34, so go ahead and take a look at that. We give some various tips, tricks, and loadouts on how you can kit the MG34 to really control that recoil profile. So one other thing we wanted to look at here was the BIPOD. The BIPOD is available for all the LMGs. And we wanted to see how much recoil control it actually provides. So um, per its characteristics here, it says that you get crouch and prone recoil control. So we decided to go ahead and test this, and we actually found that I don't believe that to be the case. You can see here we chose the MG34 as our test subject, and the base recoil, you can see it jumps around. Now the one thing that looks like the BIPOD did do is, I guess, essentially minimize that side to side jump. You can see here that the pattern is a lot tighter side to side, but from a vertical standpoint, um, it's actually worse standing than it was in just the base recoil. And when crouched, you can see it really didn't offer much of an advantage over the base recoil. So this over here, this Pro, it says crouch recoil control. I'm not really seeing it. Now, when we went prone with the bipod attached, you can see that it had a nice tight recoil pattern. It had the least amount of overall vertical recoil with the 50 bullets. And you can also see we got a lot more bullets here right in that first spread. So that first 6-7 bullets were all quite tight here. So the challenge here, though, is that do you want to lay prone with an LMG just to get the benefits of the bipod? In some cases, you might want to do that, but on the whole, this basically is going to take up an underbarrel slot that you could use for another attachment somewhere else in the game. So I really don't recommend running the bipod. The benefits it says it gives you really aren't there. So um, instead of using the bipod, here are some additional tips that we have for you. So this actually comes from our MG34 weapon guide, and the best loadout we had here shows you that we cut about probably 30 to 40% of that overall vertical recoil out of the MG34. Now, if you mount the weapon, that same loadout right here cuts another 50% out of both the horizontal and vertical recoil. So mounting your LMG will give you much, much better overall accuracy. Another option you can do if you're not in a position to mount is to fire in 7 or 8 shot bursts. So here we use the MG34 with the same loadout we had here, and if you're curious as to what that loadout is, go watch that MG34 video. Now 7 to 8 shot bursts, you can see we had a nice tight pattern right here. So our best two tips for you when using an LMG is to either mount the LMG if there's a surface available, and then you can manage that vertical recoil quite nicely, or to shoot in 7 to 8 shot bursts. You do these, you'll have a lot of success. So with that, hey, that's all we got for this video here. We're going to have additional weapon guides coming out. We just released the MG34, so head on over to that video and check it out. Again, thanks for watching. Please comment, like, hit the thumbs up button, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell notification because we got more weapon guides, more recoil guides coming out soon. Again, thanks for watching.